This video is about CELPIP reading exam. Have you ever felt like CELPIP is not testing your English, it's testing your brain? Yes, it is. CELPIP reading questions are psychological traps. They are designed to confuse your logic, trick your instincts, and reward your patience. So today, I'm going to take you inside the CELPIP examiner's mind and show you how to beat them at their own game. Okay, let's get started. The first act is psychology of panic. When the timer starts, what's the first thing your brain does? Panic. And when you panic, you start scanning words like a robot, right? But CELPIP expects you to be human in order to comprehend. Okay? So the rule number one is you have to slow down to go fast. Please take your notepad and pen and try to make a note of all the acts that I'm going to tell here because this one going to give you a higher score. Okay? So first thing here is you have to read the question, not the passage, because that tells your brain what clue that you have to look for, like a GPS. Remember, reading everything is not smart reading. Strategic searching is matters, okay? The next one is Act 2, the trick of similar options. This one again is a psychological trick. Self-up gives you two similar looking options to make you doubt yourself. Do you know the reason why? Because they know your brain hates uncertainty. So you start overthinking, rereading, and wasting time. And the solution is, the spot the difference game, right? Compare two lookalike options word by word. Then you have to find out the one that adds or changes the key detail. So that's the imposter. Got it? And let's move on to our Act 3. So this one is the confidence trap. You know, when an option sounds so familiar that you just click it, that's your memory, not your comprehension, correct? So CELPIP loves to test your memory bias. They will throw an option that uses the same words as the passage, but in a twisted way. So you have to ask yourself, does this option actually say the same thing or just look like it? And let's move on to our Act 4. So this Act 4 is the emotion manipulator. This one is wild because in Part 3 and Part 4, CELPIP often uses emotionally charged passages like compliance, opinions, arguments. You know that, right? Do you know the reason why? Because emotion clouds judgment. You might agree or disagree with the writer, and that affects your choice. And the trick here is detach your feelings. You're not agreeing or disagreeing, you are decoding. So you have to focus on what's said, not what you believe. Got it? Let's move on to an example here. The city's ban on cars downtown has made life difficult for small businesses. Now, here the question is, what's the writer's tone? Your emotional brain says, yeah, that's unfair. But your analytical brain should say, the writer is critical of the ban. Okay? Now you can able to find out the difference, isn't it? Emotion versus analysis. And let's move on to our Act 5. This one I call it as a final case, the hidden motive mystery. Now, this one is the real deal. What you're about to see is a real level reading passage, right? Not something you can solve just by matching the words. So here you need to have a logic, tone, analysis, and inference. So let's step into the case file now. Here is the case file. This is the passage. When the City Council introduced its Green Mobility Plan last year, many residents welcomed the initiative as a step toward a cleaner environment. The plan prioritized public transport, cycling lanes, and restricted car access in certain downtown areas. However, business owners soon began reporting reduced customer traffic, particularly those operating in pedestrian-only zones. Despite this, a recent survey conducted by the city's Department of Transportation revealed that the overall satisfaction among residents had increased. The report highlighted a significant drop in air pollution levels and an improvement in commuting times for public transport users. Still, the council faces criticism for implementing the policy without an adequate consultation period. Some council members now propose adjustments to better support small businesses while maintaining the plan's environmental objectives. Now, this is the passage. If you want, you can just read it for yourself, understand, so that we can move on to our questions. So, here is the question. What best describes the overall tone of the passage? Options are strongly supportive of the green mobility plan, balanced, acknowledging both the benefits and challenges of the plan, critical and dismissive of the council's approach, neutral and purely factual without any opinion expressed. And what's your answer here? Let me tell the correct answer. The option is balanced, acknowledging both the benefits and challenges of the plan. Because if you see here, the tone question is a trap because every sentence seems to support a different side. So you need to dissect the evidence carefully. Remember the sentence 1. If you go back and see the sentence 1, that is very positive, right? People welcome the initiatives. And in the sentence 2, it's a negative because business owners lost customers. And in the sentence 3, positive again because the survey shows increased satisfaction, less pollution, better commutes. Got it? And if you go on to the sentence 4, this is the negative twist again because it's a criticism about lack of consultation. And the final one, compromise, right? So proposing adjustments, all these things. Here, what's the author's tone overall? Not fully supportive, right? As A suggests. And as C suggests, it's not critical, it's not dismissive also. And D, neutral, no, not definitely. D does not fit here because there is an evaluation and judgment given. So the correct option, as I told you, option B, which is balanced, acknowledging both the benefits and the challenges of the plan. That's exactly the nuanced CELPIP test. Can you hold two ideas at once? That's the mark of an advanced reader. Got it? So let's move on to our second question. Question 2 is what can be inferred about the council's next steps? And the options are they are likely to abandon the green mobility plan due to business pressure. They intend to maintain the plan, modify it to address some concerns. They will increase consultation only after the plan is completed. They will expand the restrictions to more areas of the city. And the right option here is option B. They intend to maintain the plan but modify it to address some concerns. Because the final line says some council members now propose adjustments to better support small businesses while maintaining the plan's environmental objectives, right? So proposing adjustment means they are keeping the plan, not tweaking it. Maintaining environmental objectives, that means it shows that they are not abandoning it, right? So if you look for option A, which means they are abandoning the plan, no, that's the wrong option. And if you look for the option C, they will increase consultation only after the plan is completed. That was not even mentioned in the passage. And D, they will expand the restrictions to more areas of the city. No, that is exactly opposite of what's implied. So option B is the correct answer because they intend to maintain the plan, but they try to modify it to address the concerns. That's the kind of subtle reasoning CELPIP expects, connecting words like propose, adjust, okay? Not just scanning for familiar phrases. Got it? So remember that. Let's move on to the third question. Which of the following statements would the author most likely agree with? Environmental improvement must take priority over business concerns. Public satisfaction proves that the policy is flawless. Environmental goals and economic realities can coexist with careful planning. The green mobility plan should be suspended until all residents agree. And here the correct option is environmental goals and economic realities can coexist with careful planning. So this one classic is a self part 4 style. The author's viewpoint. It's not about what was said, but what the overall message suggests. Okay. If you see the passage, let me take you to the passage here. It shows both sides, the environmental success and the business concerns. So that's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more self-help tips. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.